you, Dr. Jarvis. I am senior economist within Economic and Health Policy Research Program at the Research Department of the American Cancer Society. My primary area of research is tobacco taxation and tobacco smuggling, but today I will present two studies that we did on in the area of economics of e-cigarette use. But before that, let me tell you a little bit why do we use taxes as a public health tool. When taxes go up, the price of the product goes up, and by a simple law of economics, the higher the price, the lower the consumption. And this graph shows the relationship really nicely. This graph shows the relationship between cigarette taxes and per capita cigarette consumption in the European Union. Each bubble is one European country, and the size of the bubble shows the country population. So up there we have Greece with extremely high per capita cigarette consumption and relatively low taxes, and in the other corner of the graph we have United Kingdom with higher taxes and lower per capita consumption. This is Europe in 2002, and now let me show you what happens as we move through time. With the taxes going up, the consumption goes down, and all countries of the European Union move to the British corner of the graph with lower per capita consumption, where we want them to be. Taxes is a very powerful public health tool, and with emergence of e-cigarette use, this is data from Eurobarometer that shows that the prevalence of ever use of e-cigarette is rising in the European Union. Many jurisdictions decide to apply the same tool of taxation towards e-cigarettes, while there is basically no scientific evidence on that. So I conducted a study on the impact of e-cigarette prices on e-cigarette demand in the European Union. It was just recently published in the Nicotine and Tobacco Research. It was the second study in that area. The first one was published by my colleague Zidong with similar data from the United States. So in my study I used data from 6 European Union countries: Estonia, Ireland, Latvia, Lithuania, Sweden, and the UK. This is data from the Nielsen company. At that moment, these 6 countries were the only countries where Nielsen tracked e-cigarette use. That's why we used data from those countries. This is shop scanner data, so whenever people go to grocery stores, the Nielsen tracks what they are buying. So I'll not go into details into methodology of our study. We used a panel data approach, so the results are pretty much average for those countries, but we found strong evidence of prices, of course, being effective in reducing e-cigarette sales. The estimated price elasticity was around 0.85, which means the 10% increase in prices would lead to about 8% decline in sales. this suggests that e-cigarette demand is more price elastic than cigarette demand, so the smokers are more responsive to prices. I'm sorry, vapers are more responsive to prices than smokers. Because this is shop scanner data, we don't know who was buying those products, but from the research on regular cigarettes, we can assume that young people would be more responsive to prices because they always are. Another interesting finding is we found a cross-price elasticity effect with higher regular cigarette prices being associated with higher e-cigarette sales. That suggests that by increasing prices of cigarettes, we can move some of the smokers to vape e-cigarettes, which might have potential health benefits. Third finding, we found some evidence of economic conditions being associated with e-cigarette sales. This simply suggests that e-cigarettes is a normal good. When people's income go up, people can afford more and more things, including cigarettes, and now we find that e-cigarettes are also in that group of products. The other study that we conducted used data from Euromonitor on prices of regular cigarettes and e-cigarettes, and we divided e-cigarettes into disposable e-cigarettes and rechargeable e-cigarettes. We found that e-cigarettes are more expensive than combustible cigarettes in most places. So disposable cigarettes were smoking disposable cigarette was more expensive than smoking e-cigarette, than smoking regular cigarettes in all countries but the United Kingdom, while using e-liquids might be less expensive than using combustible cigarettes. We have to understand that there is this initial barrier of buying the starting kit. This study actually got many people angry on Twitter, saying what rubbish. I vape because it's cheaper. Yeah, but in this room also we are mostly from high-income countries, probably higher socioeconomic groups. For us, $20, $30, $40 expense of buying a starting kit is not a big issue. But if we think through the lenses of BD smoker in Bangladesh, the expense, the initial expense of buying a starting kit might just prevent them from switching from regular cigarette to e-cigarette use. So, what are the overall findings of our studies? First, as I said, higher cigarette price, higher taxes on e-cigarettes will affect the e-cigarette consumption, but then because of the substitution effect, the price difference between e-cigarettes and regular cigarettes should drive some smokers to vape. Now, because the price difference right now is often the other side than the harm reduction rationale would suggest, the governments that decide to use this tool have to make sure that they focus on cigarette taxation first. That's priority. How to tax those devices is also a question that is not clear to answer. One way to tax it is per a specific tax per milliliter of e-liquid. A specific tax is a set amount of money paid in this case per milliliter. This will give advantage to the products that are more concentrated and their producers at this point, the larger companies. On the other side, there is the U.S. state of Maine proposed a specific tax assessed on nicotine content. This type of taxation would promote very weak devices, so the market would be full of products that might not necessarily meet the needs of smokers. And then there is ad-valorem tax, so the tax as a percentage of price. This is already enforced in Minnesota in the United States. The advantage of it is that it automatically adjusts to inflation. So as the price of this product goes up, the tax goes up simultaneously. The disadvantage of this approach is that, again, it promotes cheaper products, because on the cheaper product the tax would be cheaper, the tax would be lesser, and that might not be advisable as well. Finally, we know that tobacco taxes work the best if they are part of a comprehensive tobacco control package. Very often tobacco taxes are decided in the Ministries of Finance, and the Ministry of Health doesn't interfere that much. We know that if it's a package that works the best, and we think that the similar plan would be good for e-cigarette, where we not only, if we tax it, it should be a part of a package where we make sure that these devices are, the harm of these devices is minimized, and on the other hand, it satisfies the needs of people who cannot quit with other means and would like these devices for harm reduction purposes.